It is preventable by investing in core public health services. It is preventable by investing in core public health services. We can take care of it over there. Don't wait till it gets here to try to take care of it. Time check. The time is approximately 9:15 p.m. That time check is brought to you by Nokia Home Improvements for all your general construction and remodeling job. Nokia Home Improvements. No job is too small. You can call them at 973-592-8493. That's 973-592-8493. Now, today I was listening. This is an article in the Salon, must-see morning clip. Jon Stewart schools Bill O'Reilly in explosive white privilege debate. Let me see if I can get this up for you.
The O'Reilly Factor on the Fox News program channel. His new book is called Killing Patton, The Strange Death of World War II's Most Audacious General. Please welcome back to our program, Mr. William O'Reilly. I'm glad, given the Ebola scare, you still are shaking my hand. I think that's a positive step. I know you're very frightened, and I just want to tell you everything's going to be okay. There you go, baby. The book is called Bill O'Reilly, Killing Patton. It's like the 8th. We're just going to call this series Killing Trees. They sell like crazy.
Okay.
Just one, I have one simple goal.
Yeah.
I want you to admit that there is such a thing as white privilege. That's all I want.
I knew.
I just want you to say, I'm terribly, terribly wrong on this.
Okay, look, if there's white privilege, then there has to be Asian privilege.
What?
Because Asians make more money than whites.
What?
Oh, you didn't know any of this, huh?
Well, not in Vietnam. What kind of Asian? You have to...
Asian Americans.
Well, no.
Asian Americans.
Depends on where they're from, if you're looking at...
They're from Asia. They're Asian Americans.
I understand that, but as a...
Okay, they make more money, higher education, more affluent. So it's Asian privilege, not white privilege.
You're missing the point.
Sorry to confuse you with facts.
You're not... It's not the... That's the... Okay, here we go. The Asian experience in America, the Asian immigrant experience, is very different from the black experience.
Yes.
So it's really... They're not equivalent. And either way, white people, males, set the system. So that's what privilege is that white people set the system that, yes, maybe Asian immigrants, once immigration policy was liberalized, have done better over these past 30 or 40 years. But there has been a systematized subjugation of the black community. Would you not agree with that?
Sure. That was then. This is now.
Oh, it's right? There was white privilge, but it no longer exists.
Maybe you haven't figured out that there is no more slavery, no more Jim Crow, right?
All right.
And the most powerful man in the world
oh boy.
is
here we go.
A black American.
Oh boy.
And the most powerful woman in the world, Oprah Winfrey, is black. Okay?
Being able to give people a free car does not make you the most powerful man in the world. But listen close, because I see the issue. You don't believe that the residual effect of, slavery and Jim Crow are dead. But the residual effects of that systemic subjugation exist today.
It absolutely exists today.
Let's go a different way.
It exists for every race, not at that extent. All right?
So that's white.
So you don't put forth, all right, this white privilege, and if you fail, that's why you fail. All right? America is now a place where if you work hard, get educated, and an honest person, you can succeed. That's what should be put out there.
You are carrying,
not all this other stuff.
You are carrying more of a burden as a black person in this country than a white person in this country. From
Collectively, yes, but not
individually.
You listen.
They don't stop and
every
frisk Wall Street bankers,
is different.
even though they've done far more damage to the economy.
They don't stop.
White people do more drugs in this country than black people,
Yes.
but black people make up a far higher majority of drug
You
abuse.
do know why that is. Why is that?
Because black people, it's about real estate to some extent. There has been a systemic subjugation through real estate. Black people are ghettoized in this country.
They're forced
those
to
ghettos,
live there. They have to live there. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, you're getting to a bad place, my friend. What made you culturally? Do you think your upbringing gave you values,
Yes.
ethics?
Yes, it did.
You didn't grow up rich, right?
No, we didn't
But
have
you worked
much
hard.
money at all.
Right.
I did.
You worked hard.
Right.
You lived where?
Levittown,
Levittown.
New York.
So it gave you a nice, stable, a cheap home. There was no down payments. It was this incredible opportunity. No, those houses were
it was just lavish.
subsidized.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It
lavish.
was just
but it
they
was
weren't
stable.
subsidized.
But
They
it
were
was stable.
sold to GIs, and the GIs got a mortgage they could afford.
Okay.
Look,
But let me just ask you a
you're making
question.
a huge mistake.
No. Let me just ask you a question.
Yes.
Did that upbringing leave a mark on you even today?
Of course. Every upbringing leaves a mark on
Great.
people.
Could black people live in Levittown?
Not at that time. They could not.
So that, my friend,
My
is what we
friend?
call in the business white privilege.
Okay. That was in 1950, all right?
1950.
1950.
Were there black people living there in 1960?
In Levittown?
Yes.
I don't know.
There weren't.
How do you know?
Because I read up on it.
You read up. You know that.
I do
I
know
can
that.
find somebody.
My point is this. Even today...
Why would you want to live there? It's a nice place, but it's not a place like you. It's not like Bel Air.
Because it's
Come
a
on.
place that built values. What you don't understand is...
There were
imagine growing
millions
up,
of black neighborhoods that built values.
But imagine
millions
growing up
of them.
knowing that you, as an American,
Yeah.
as a GI who fought in World War II,
Yeah.
couldn't buy into that because you were less.
It was unfair.
You were not good enough.
It was unfair.
And the residue of that continues
The
today,
residue.
and that is white privilege.
It's all right. If you want to say it's white privilege
I'm not
because
saying
whites
it's an
didn't have it
excuse.
as bad
I'm
as
saying
blacks,
it exists.
Fine. But that's not
it.
what's happening here in contemporary society.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh.
If you let me repeat this, and I'll do it slowly.
All right.
So even you can understand.
All right, all right.
If you work hard, if you get educated, if you're an honest person, you can make it in America.
If you live in a neighborhood where poverty is endemic,
Yeah.
it's harder to work hard.
It's
harder to get
it
an
was-
education.
Hey,
You're
it was
carrying
harder
around-
for me than it was for the white guy in Garden City. It's all relative. Yes, it's harder if you're a ghetto kid. Yes. But can you do it? Yes.
Yes, you can. So what I don't understand is why so defensive about it? Why is it that white people get so defensive about this? I'm not saying that life isn't hard. Middle-class white guys that are working hard to do what they can, and they look and they go, I'm not getting any privilege. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is a group of people that were brought here. They didn't choose to immigrate here to get that better life. And just acknowledge that our country's had a problem with that, and we can
acknowledge
move
that who are fair-minded. But you don't then take that and then condemn the modern society because
You know what I'll call it? I'll call it this, and it's a word I think you'll understand. A factor. It's a factor.
It's a fact. I'll give you the fact.
Your humility has moved me. You are like Pope Francis that has taken the Catholic Church into an era of acceptance and humility. You very can lead the flock of the fox fearful to a better place. I believe in you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Jon Stewart. Basically, schooling Bill O'Reilly. You know, it's always funny to see when, you know, two white guys going at it and they're talking about white privilege. And the other guy who thinks he really knows all about it stumbles along. I like when you ask him the question, was there any white people in Levittown in 1950? He said no. Was there any white people in 1960? I mean, he knew. He knew. But as normally, oh, I don't know. John Stewart said there wasn't any. He asked John Stewart, how do you know that? John said, well, I read up on it. You see, and this is the problem with Bill O'Reilly. You know, they want to see things that they truly, it's like a mirage. For these guys on Fox, it's all a mirage. It's certain things that they think that they see and think that they believe that's not really true, but they talk about it anyway. They let you believe it anyway. And you know how the media can skew things. The media, what's the other guy? Sean Hannity. Boy, I like him to come on Jon Stewart as well. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. You got to admit it. Even if you're a Bill O'Reilly fan, Jon Stewart really and truly took Bill O'Reilly. And let me tell you something. And that just goes to show you that these guys are not paying attention. He actually came there to talk about his book, right? And if you notice, less than a minute into the program, Jon Stewart removed the book and put it under the desk. And for the 8 minutes that Bill O'Reilly was there to plug his book, they didn't even speak. They spoke about the book for maybe 30 seconds, the first 30 seconds of the program. And he moved his book. He schooled him. There's no other way to put it. Jon Stewart schooled Bill O'Reilly. Because when you hear Bill O'Reilly on the fact, and then that guy's pretty good. And the way he closed it with saying that Bill O'Reilly, he talks about it's a factor, right? You know, of course he's talking about Bill O'Reilly, the factor. It's a factor. But every once in a while, you can't help but when these type of things happen, all you got to do is to sit back and really laugh, about it. Because as much as when they're on their own program, they can dictate basically how they're going to handle the show. Jon Stewart, man, from Comedy Central, he did a big job. And it is funny. When Jon Stewart said to him, there is a system of subjugation in the country when it comes to anyone who isn't white. Bill O'Reilly said, that was then, this is now. O'Reilly responds, maybe you haven't figured out. There is no more slavery, no more Jim Crow. So he said, oh, all right, Stewart says, casually sneaking Bill O'Reilly's book under the desk. And this is something that you always hear, taking two individuals, right? And comparing that to the 12 or 13% of people of color that we have in the United States of America. The most powerful man in the world is a black American, and the most powerful woman in the world is Oprah Winfrey, is black. And that's what they tell you. So we have two very powerful people, and the others are just ordinary. Or the others, a lot of the others are basically in the lower class. And that is acceptable because we have two people, the president and Oprah Winfrey. And Jon Stewart was pretty cute. Being able to give people a free car does not make you the most powerful woman in the world, Stewart Seltz. And he closes that.